All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, so what I'm going to do is like a beginner bass player series from a beginner's point of view. Uh, Technically not, but it goes like this. My bass playing career goes, basically I don't have one. I've been a guitar player since the age of 5. I'm now 50. And I played bass in high school, took a bass and drums in the music class for like, 2 semesters. So like, what's that, 6 months, 8 months? Okay, and the rest of the time I've just been my regular guitar player self. You can, see all the crazy guitars I got in other videos. The first bass I got, I found in the garbage. It was some sort of a Fender Precision knockoff. And it basically was virtually unplayable. But I used to bring the bass home from school and play it as well as my guitars or whatever. So I've always dabbled with the bass. And then, of course, I had friends that had played bass and, in the bands. And the bass I probably have the most time on is a Fender Precision that one of my friends bought back in high school. So I'd go over to his place and I'd noodle on my guitar for a bit, noodle on the bass, and then we'd jam or whatever. And I'd always play that bass for a bit. And then I played bass on stage maybe 2 or 3 times, a couple of songs here and there, jam nights. Can't tell you how many times, probably could count it on one hand. So I never really put all the effort into the bass, but every time I've picked up the bass, I've always tried to play it the way a bass player should play a bass, not just, okay, I'm a guitar player, now I play bass, here's the pick. You know what I mean? And just... like really simple stuff. You can't get away with that, but the pick, if you think you're going to play 3 hours with a pick on a bass, like say, oh, bass is easy to play, whatever. And you think you're just going to play 3 hours straight in a gig. By the end of the second set, you're probably your fingers, you're going to be completely fatigued. Your thumb's going to be burning, your hand's going to be burning, because it takes a lot more endurance to build up the bass. However, I do find playing bass helps my guitar playing. And I'll explain that in another video. The other thing is that I bought this bass mainly predominantly for recording, but I'd rather play guitar on stage, but I'm not opposed to playing bass on stage either. And I do find the bass kind of fun, and it's cool to have as many instruments under your belt as possible. So for me, I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I've been playing mandolin for decades, violin probably almost 20 years now. Not very good at it, but I do play it. Guitars, obviously, for about 45 years. And the ukulele. I don't play the ukulele enough. I should play it a little bit more. So I have like 6 violins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guitars in here. 10 guitars in here. One's in the closet there. It doesn't really count. It's a broken guitar, but it's 10 guitars in the room, right? And 1 bass. And this bass I just bought, and I've been spending quite a bit of time on it, but I got asked to play bass for a band that's not sure if they're going to take me or not. But I already talked to the guitar player. It was a band called Jimmy's Dead. You can see some of their videos on this channel. They're a cover band, local guys, real nice guys, real fun. I got the drummer's drumstick over there. We had a lot of fun, but their bass player, he actually quit. And they do have a sort of a backup bass player that they're going to use for an upcoming gig in July, this is what I was practicing. But then he let me know last night. He goes, well, I talked to the guys. He says, we're going to go with the other guy for that gig just because he knows, it's the guy's dad. He plays bass and he knows the songs already. So it's like, okay, they're going to go with the sure thing. And I don't blame them. It's like, okay, we got a guy. We don't know how good he's going to be. We only got maybe 3 jam sessions between now and then. It's a gamble, right? They want to, they want to make sure they can get the gig done. So I understand that. But here's what I also noticed is that as my playing gets more elaborate, my learning curve is kind of like this for the bass. So I'll probably plateau like most people with guitar, bass, or whatever. You learn a lot right away, especially if you're really actively learning. And I'm actively learning, and I'm trying to develop the techniques right from the get-go, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mistakes in my techniques of how to mute, especially because I'm going with a 5-string and not a 4-string. But I know I'm going to get it, right? Like I know I'm going to spend time. It's not like, oh, okay, I'm going to play it and just, I'll never get it. No, I know I'm going to get it. So when I'm doing the 3-finger thing, doing A lot of bass players don't do chords right away. I do chords right away because rather than just go, you know, like just hitting the individual chords right away. Get to the chords right away. Don't overwhelm yourself. So let's say your first exercise is going to be that, like what Billy Sheenan talked about. You know, like getting, you know, using your thumb to mute, getting used to moving your thumb across the strings to mute, and just 2 fingers, just. Try to do it in time if you can. Mute with this hand too. Several ways to mute with a 5-string. You put your behind, whatever works best for you. That's going to be a technique thing, an individual technique. So once you guys start doing that and just working on your whatever, you know, just noodling around here. Work on your timing. Muting and timing, right? Don't worry about fast. And then try to throw in a power chord. Even if it's just, you can only do that. And then work on your slaps. Like that, blend it all in, work on one thing, work on the next, and be active on your learning, doing different things. You're not going to get it all in one shot. You probably say, well, you don't sound too bad for a beginner bass player, but I already got the fundamentals down. Playing my hand relaxed so I'm not burning here. This hand is always super relaxed. That's why I'm able to do the 3-finger thing not too bad. Don't sound like a guitar player that much, you know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that, but it's like guitar players are usually pretty obvious when they're on the bass, so I'm trying not to be obvious on the bass as a guitar player. But you also learn as a guitar player how much the bass supports the song, right? How it serves the song. So that's, I guess, what I'm going to do for the first little bit of these series, just to show you that to start.